Good morning. Happy Monday. I don't know if anyone's going to jump on live, but I wanted to say happy Monday. I'm sitting here by the fire. Literally, that's what I love to do to warm up. But wanted to come live and talk to you guys a little bit about, make sure I'm in the frame good, about creatine. Something an interesting subject matter, but I'll see if anyone jumps in. If not, put pound replay. If you end up watching the replay, and if you have any questions, make sure to drop them below. A couple things I want to talk about before I talk about creatine, which I'm going to talk about this in a second. I want to talk about what can you do. It's the morning. Here it's 9 o'clock, almost 9. What can you do today that will set you up for a better tomorrow? Okay, you've heard me talk about the 1% improvement a day, right? 1% a day, 30% by the end of the month, 60% by the next month. Now, it's possible you might improve one day, but maybe your symptoms, you might go backwards a couple steps. Some days you'll go forward 3 steps, other days backwards 1 step. That is normal. You will not stay on a straight path. That's not the way our bodies work and how we heal or our habits, all of those types of things. So that is normal. If you feel you need support in that process, reach out to me. That's what I do. I support you, especially if you don't feel like you can do this alone and you feel like you're not able to get those habits to stick, the right habits, so that you age gracefully. And even at 40, you should be thinking about this, because 40 is that pivotal point where you're starting to have that muscle loss, 1% a year. Okay, starting at age 40. And age 30, there's stuff going on too. But age 40 is where I see it a lot. And if you have not addressed hormonal health, 40s are a great time to do it, to set you up for a phenomenal 50. And at 40, it's a great time to set you up for a phenomenal 45. And you think, I don't have to worry about that yet. Actually, you have better success at breezing through the hormonal shifts and situations and aren't setting yourself up for, I guess, the heart disease, the osteopenia, osteoporosis, sarcopenia, all of those types of things. Bone fractures. It's the second person, that's why I'm going to talk about this, that I've run into recently that fell and broke their hip. The last person actually was a health coach who did not know about hormones, who I'm going to actually be helping, fellow health coach. And her doctor said there was nothing wrong with her bone. She fell and cracked. It was a hormone situation. So if you have not addressed hormonal issues, and yes, you can still do that as you get older, the best time to do it is when you're younger, in your 40s, though, I will tell you. But you can still support yourself. I mean, I didn't really dial mine in until my 50s because I didn't understand what was going on. Didn't get great support, didn't get great advice, didn't understand bioidenticals. So that's why I'm here, to help you guys through that and understand the relationship with the gut. Also with gut issues, if you've got gut issues going on, we've got to address those first. So I just wanted to come live and talk about that and tell you, you can do this. It's a mindset shift. It's understanding what habits you need to dial in, what habits you need to get rid of. And some of those might be nutrition, functional nutrition, you've heard me say, is using nutrition to help move the dial in your health, and also lifestyle habits. And then there's supplements and other things too. But a lot of those habits are the things that will move you the dial further and further and closer to where you want to be. This is a journey. It is, when you're looking for those quick fixes and you see those things of, oh, and I've done them before and I might do them, but realize if you do these 90-day weight resets, you're going to be back where you started unless you continue the journey. And if you have trouble continuing the journey, that's when you need a coach like myself, especially that's walked through menopause already. So I understand everything that you've dealt with and walked through almost every possible gut issue that you could have, I've had, plus a cancer survivor. So that's why I'm here to help you. I want you to know you can do this and to be supported in a positive way. I only use positive psychology. So let's talk about creatine. It says it supports lean muscle mass and strength and supports memory and cognition. So creatine is something I learned about not that long ago. We've heard of creatine, and many people, I had a good friend of mine from college, it's a bodybuilder, and he used creatine. I mean, you hear about that with bodybuilders, and it's an amino acid, and you don't think anything of it. So why am I talking about creatine now? The reason I'm talking about creatine is because it is something that we've learned about probably in the recent times. It says here, research has shown that creatine monohydrate, it's a form of it, has the ability to support both muscle and brain health. It's been shown in clinical trials to improve lean muscle mass, strength, and supports memory and cognition. Okay. This is the one I got. It actually is a good one. I wouldn't suggest it because of the fact it is super expensive, and I found ways to get it for cheaper. And I'm actually going to be probably going to partner up with a company just so that you guys can get it for cheaper. So creatine, why am I even talking about creatine? As you age, the issues that you're going to start seeing is within your bones, okay, the bone health. Even someone in their 40s and beyond, it's something to think about. We talked about that lean muscle mass that you're losing, that starts in your 30s. In the 40s, you start having that 1% bone loss a year. So this is something to start thinking about. What can you do to support your body? First of all, if you've not done a Dutch, that's something to do. Reach out to me. I can give you a link, and I don't just give people a link and walk away because I feel super irresponsible of me. So that's the health coach in me that wants to see you get better. So I do have a program for people that want to look at their hormones, because that's one of the first things to do. Secondly, and this is something you could do now, is creatine. Add in creatine. And this is something to get curious about, because I cannot recommend, but I can tell you things to get curious about, and then you go and talk to your doctor about it, make sure it's right for you, okay? But in clinical trials, you've heard me say, the research is showing that creatine is going to help with the muscle strength. It's also been talked about in a trial to prevent sarcopenia. Prevent. So one of the things that's going to prevent, okay? The other thing is understanding that your estrogen has a lot to do with your bone loss. So when you're going, and I see this all the time, which is why I have to talk about it, when you're going out and you're seeing these supplements that go, oh, you get rid of hot flashes, you feel better, you lose weight, yeah, those symptoms are phenomenal, right? Because you get rid of the symptoms. But I ask you to question, am I really setting myself up to be healthy? Because you might be getting rid of the symptoms, but if your estrogen, progesterone, testosterone ratios, other hormone ratios are not solid, not where they need to be, and you have not addressed those, your symptoms will be gone, but you may still have the bone loss. You may still fracture a hip. The two people I'm talking about were both in good shape. Were both thinner. They both looked great. They looked the part, but they both fell and broke their hips. And that's what can happen, okay? So creatine has been known, you've heard it, memory and cognition is, how we're processing. And we see a lot of that with aging, right? We see, especially with hormones being off, you'll get a lot of that brain fog, that lack of clarity, thinking you're like Alzheimer's patient because you can't remember things. That's one of the symptoms of hormonal imbalances. When your hormones are off, your memory won't be good. I remember my memory was phenomenal, and I'd be like, why am I losing everything? Why do I walk into a room and don't remember why I walked into a room? So this creatine is not going to take care of all that, but it will help you from the muscle and bone standpoint. It is one piece of the pie, okay? One piece to address. If you really want to make sure to set yourself up for phenomenal health, reach out to me. I have a number of programs. One of them that is for the people that really, really want to do the work and get themselves to a point where they're feeling great all the time and want to set them up for the future. I have an 8-week course with group coaching and one-on-ones with me. It is great. You get all the education information. Mention course below if you want the information on that. My second thing is I do have just straight group coaching. It's different than the group coaching that goes with the program. And that is for 4 weeks. Super inexpensive at like $99 a month. If you want information on the group coaching, mention group below. We can get you in there and you're with like-minded people. We talk about different themes each month. I might have guest speakers. That's the same in the program, but you can do both too. And if you want one-on-one where you're like, you know what, I need personalized one-on-one support so I can be not only educated, but I can get to my goals quicker, then come see me, because we can do that, and it can be a weekly thing or bi-weekly. Usually I tell people to start weekly in the beginning so that we get you where you want to go. And then we talk about like if there's other doctors that need to fill in the gap. It's not always one person. But one of the things, as I mentioned, you can start doing is to get curious about is the creatine, and double check with your doctor. Make sure it's right for you. But those trials are showing how important this is for our muscles and supporting our bones. And that's in conjunction with resistance training. And if you don't know what I mean, again, comment below on resistance and I can reach out to you. That's something starting at 40 that you need to be dialing in, and especially at 50. And if you're older than that, that's something you really need to be thinking about. It's beyond just doing push-ups. It's beyond that. And it's really understanding what that is going to do for our bodies so that we're not frail as we get older. So we're not falling and breaking our hips and things like that. I have seen so many situations where people are aging, or even in their 60s and 70s, and they're getting heart disease, cancer, falling, breaking bones, but they don't feel good. The key is to continue feeling good as we get older, not feeling worse and thinking that's the way we're supposed to be, because I thought that was normal too. I thought all of it was normal, to be creaky, to be achy, to be not feeling great. It is not normal. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be your new normal. And sometimes when we sit in it for too long, that was me, it's like, how do I peel back this onion layer by layer? There's too many things going on. Feels overwhelming. That's when you involve somebody like me. Or if the doctor has said, oh, look at your lab markers. Your A1C is too high. You're overweight. You have extra weight around the middle. You're setting yourself up to be diabetic. You need to start working out. And you're like, I'm overwhelmed. What do I do now? What do I do first? And then you're having the hot flashes, and you're having the waking up between 2 and 5 a.m. and the brain fog and all that. And you're like, where do I start? That's when you come see someone like me. Okay. So I love and support you. I love and support you guys. I'm here. You know, I jump in all the time, but it's hard to take all the information and put it together. So again, if you want those resources, drop the words below. I will reach out. I will share information with you so that I can get you onto the right path, the right direction with the right support that you need, so that you don't end up where I was, which I didn't have the support. That's why I do it for women today. And that's why I specialize in 40s on up, just to support you guys. So something to look into. If you want a link for creatine, drop it below. I am working on this right now so that I can have a resource for you. And again, double check with your doctor, make sure that that's going to be right for you. But I'm going to be adding mine in my smoothie today. Okay. And it's more than once a day. So hope you guys have a fantastic day. If there's anything you guys want me to talk about, or if there's a class you want me to hold, let me know. I was debating doing something for label reading and doing a grocery store trip as a class and telling you what to eat for your hormones and gut health. So let me know if that's something of interest to you. Have a fantastic morning.